let's get into this. That seems straight enough. Okay. Let's get it posted for anybody who's interested that's not sub, which I wouldn't know why they wouldn't be. Copy link. Let's see. So yeah, let's tell everybody over here to come bother me. Let's see. So good evening. Okay, let's see. We're back in normal existence. We're going to go to whole. Let's do somewhere new. I want somewhere exciting to fly. Like this river, these mountains, and a different helicopter. Funny, the R22 is just fun. Look, you can hate on the R22 all you want to, but I think the R22 is an absolute blast. We're going to keep it basic. I'm not going to deal with all that. We are going to stunt out on fuel, though. I'm going to make myself weigh a respectable amount of weight. Let's make a little skinny-ass passenger. Cool, 116%. I like that. I like those odds. Let's go. Set as departure. Where do we want to arrive? We're going to head. We are not going to make it there. Highly doubt, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay. Oh, kick the PC. Not a good thing to do. Yeah. Back in 2020. Make sure we can hear myself on the chat decent. Okay, that sounds fine. Okay, back in. Oh no. She's tall. Oh no. Okay, let's see. First of all, we need that down or else this thing's not going to start. Fuel or whatever is over here somewhere on. Okay. That's clutch. No, I want battery. Okay, it just does that. Sick. Strobes. Get our blades spinning a little bit. And the governor off currently. Okay. Clutch is finally engaged. Gives a little bit more RPM. And soon, the governor, which is here, will take over. There it goes. Hello. Let's see. Panel options I want. Yes. Okay. Hello, viewer number 2. That is not me. Welcome to Vietnam. I believe we're back in 2020 today. And the governor does not seem to want to be governing. Here, I give you full throttle. See, this is the one annoying thing about this. I give full throttle, the governor's on, it does that. So I need to let off just a little bit. And then it's still acting very weird. Unlike it should. But I think we're going to pay attention to that once we're in the air. It's weird because I've also been flying 2024 pretty consistently here. And they don't have any Robinsons in 2024. And it hasn't imported any of the helicopters that I spent my hard-earned money on purchasing. So, if I want to fly the 22, which is more or less the reason I got into helicopter simming, then I have to come back to the older game, even though I spent all the money on the new game with the promise that I would be able to use all of my stuff. But, you know, here we are. We're having a good time. So let's see, what am I doing? I want to get over here to this river. This is why we are flying in Vietnam, question mark. I believe that's where we're at. You could probably scroll back a little bit in the video and figure out where we're at, but I believe we are in Vietnam. I was looking for a place with a river to fly that was potentially near low hills and mountains. So, that's why we're here. I'm stuffed up on fuel and overweight, thanks to this fat ass. It's not my 195 pounds and a full tank of gas. It's definitely her 135 pounds. Yeah, this is the river we're looking for. But honestly, it doesn't look like there's a lot of mountains attached with it. I wanted like some mild canyon flying. Governor, do your thing, goodness. Governor's basically useless in this helicopter. I don't think it's that sensitive in real life. Hello, other viewer. Welcome back. Also, since you're here, if you plan on sticking around, I am on Starlink. Sometimes the stream likes to drop, but I don't go anywhere. I'm still here, just refresh your feed, and I should be back. But today, currently, Microsoft 2020, because 2024 has crashed 3 times while I tried to get it up and going for a stream today. So, here we are, 2020. Flying the Robinson R22, because guess what? It kind of acts like a go-kart more than everything else around. And funny enough, I have more hours in this than anything else in the sim. So it kind of feels at home once I get my feet back for it. I've been playing 2024 pretty consistently here recently. So I'm very used to the H125's right pedal heavy, or the right pedal power pedal, whatever you'd like to call it. In this here we have opposite rotation of the main rotor, which means we have to set up slightly differently for the way that our brain operates this under torque situations. Also, there was no trees there, come on. There was a gap, I had plenty enough room. Now I get to watch that replay on my screen. That's what we call suboptimal. 3, 2... I want to find a river to fly. It's probably like Waimea River or something like that. Take off over here. Sure. Oh. We going to spawn in? Hey, look at that. That was so much better than 2024. Holy crap. Absolutely wild. Let's see.
Kaneohe Ground Helicopter November 240 Sierra Hotel request taxi for takeoff departing straight out.
Helicopter November 240 Sierra Hotel taxi to and hold short of runway for using taxiway Alpha. Contact tower on 120.7 when ready.
Okay, let's get this going.
Taxi
Move to Hawaii.
short runway 4 via taxiway Alpha Helicopter 0 Sierra Hotel.
Boy, I cannot wait to not listen to a single thing that ATC has to say to me. It's on my list of things I'm not going to do. See, our clutch is still working on activating right here. And actually, let's see if we can do slightly better. Whatever. Let's go. So let's see. The governor should grab this here in a second, get us up into our green. Close enough. And I want Garmin. Okay, let's go play around some. Since Vietnam happened to cock block us with the tree hitboxes that they had there. Oh, is that bright? Is that light bright? You got a problem? Okay. Let's
Helicopter 0 Sierra Hotel, you were not cleared to take off.
I was not cleared to take off. Oh no. Wild, I never would have guessed I wasn't cleared to take off. Can you even see out of there? Go ahead and terminate my radar services.
Helicopter 0 Sierra Hotel, you were not cleared to take off.
Sue me. Give this dude a surprise. Okay, let's go mess around Honolulu. Hello, other viewer. How are you? Good evening.
Helicopter 0 Sierra Hotel, you were not cleared to take off.
Let's see.
Kaneohe approach helicopter November 240 Sierra Hotel is type helicopter or 22 turbine 2 miles southwest of Kaneohe 100 feet. Request flight following.
Actually, I'm really short right here. Let's
Sierra Hotel Kaneohe approach. Squawk
make myself a little bit
4516.
taller. A little bit
Squawk
further back.
4516 helicopter 0
This
Sierra
feels
Hotel.
about like I'm actually sitting in my stuff right now, so
Helicopter
we'll call
0
that
Sierra
good.
Hotel radar contact 2 miles west of Kaneohe, 300 feet.
We are pulling some manifold pressure right now. Tell you what,
Roger helicopter
we're
0
also
Sierra
climbing
Hotel.
pretty aggressively for such a small helicopter. Didn't do the calculations of what our allowable manifold pressure was today, but I can tell you that up there is definitely not it. Around 21 to 22 is probably where we should be. Optimally, I'd like to keep this around 500 feet per minute, but I wasn't paying attention because I was looking around over here and checking my phone and making sure everything looked like it was streaming all right. But yeah, let's do this. Big thing in this little Robinson is having to manage what little bit of power that you have. They don't have much. Why are you losing rotor RPM? Come on. World's worst governor setup. I respect Cow and Sim. I love the fact that they did make an R22 to fly. But I will say, I don't know if it's just my peripherals or something, but it is less than optimal when it comes to jeez, awfully wiggly today, aren't you? It's less than optimal when it comes to running the governor. That's the most annoying thing about this. For a while, I did it where I would just start with the helicopter running, because trying to find the sweet spot of where my throttle movement is to get it to where it would activate the governor for where it should be in real life, versus if I were to max out my throttle here, typically it would override what the governor is supposed to do, which isn't what it should do. So a nice little fine line to ride there. That's just kind of annoying, where it shouldn't be like that, but it is. So let's do some less than friendly stuff. I was looking to fly some rivers in 2024, since we're near the end of 2024 now. But I tried to load in the game a couple of times to no avail. And when I say that, I mean I'd get in and I would select which helicopter I wanted. I would try to change the livery and it would freeze up. Or one of them, I went into photo mode to take a picture to do a new thumbnail, so I'm not using the same thumbnail over and over again. And when I went to leave that particular free flight session, I just got stuck on the loading screen to leave for 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes, and I just gave up on it. But 2024 is loading to get into it takes so much longer. My Starlink's not slow. I've even checked speed while this is happening, and I'm getting very decent numbers for what it should be for 2024, to where it's more than enough to run 2024 even with beautiful cloud-based gaming. But for some reason, you know, I don't know if it's just an influx of people that maybe received 2024 as a Christmas gift. Maybe there's just a huge amount of them that are bogging down the servers. I feel like they should have already learned their lessons about servers from their failure of a launch. But right now it just seems like it's still a huge problem for them, you know. Also, don't mind me here. This we're not flying through clouds. I have no idea what you're talking about. This is definitely an IFR vehicle, and it's more than capable of flying instrument. It's definitely not the 1994 Toyota Corolla of the helicopter world. We definitely have all of the technology and the stability, and we definitely don't have to worry about mast bumping or anything like that. But who are you? Who are you, viewer number 2? I know one of them's me, because that's how I monitor my streams. But who are you? Why are you here? Are you from the Discords? Are you from Instagram? Do you know me? Are you messaging me right now on one of those, but yet I'm here? Who knows? Just a little mystery viewer. Either way, thank you for being here. May not be doing a lot of super cool stuff on here, but I think helicopter flying is a neat thing. It's a fun thing. It's a lot more dynamic than a lot of the fixed wing operation stuff you see people doing in simming. And VR definitely adds a different level to it as far as, I don't say realism, but it's a lot more immersive, and that's for sure. Cutting close here. Ooh, there's a little place we can land. Let's do that. Okay, so we're pulling back on our cyclic. This is bad flying conditions. What's up? Okay, first of all, I am barely moving forward, and I'm still showing decent forward airspeed. So that's very cool, but also I'm landing with a significant headwind. So I will continue pointing this way for the landing. Turning around the other way would be very frowned upon and not a smart move to do. Also, you can see right now my bottom right gauge there and the center vertical section of gauges. That is holding. Let me get into a good hover out here, away from the trees. We are sitting around the 17 to 18 inches of manifold pressure. So the wind's helping us fly here. We are in ETL facing that way into the wind. And I'm going to turn around and face this other way and operate with a tailwind, which it already feels significantly more unstable. It's pushing me forward. And you can see I'm pulling 23 to 24 inches of manifold pressure. So I am not in ETL right now. Let's get back around this way. Jeez. I'm sure y'all are seeing it too, but I was getting some decent frame drop right there. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a little land here at the peak of this hill. I'm having to pull backwards on my cyclic a little bit to keep us kind of angled backwards, as if we were doing a quick stop. Lost a little bit of airspeed there. I guess the winds are changing. That happens. And there we go. Sitting up here in the clouds. Sick. This was 2024. I would do the cool thing where I hop out of the helicopter and walk around and look around, but not here. Can't do that. Let's see if I can fix some of our trees. Let's bump those down too. Let me use my mouse. It doesn't seem to want to be reading with this. High. Grasses and bushes. Oh, I like the grasses and bushes high. It's better for landing. Volumetric clouds. Let's get those on high. I don't think it's worth the bump up to I don't think it's worth the bump up to full send, because the high clouds look just as good as the ultra clouds. And we seem to not be losing as many frames here. So we're going to take back off. I'm going to do this thing of catching the wind with the main rotor here and kind of using that to pull us up instead of taking off we took off into the headwind. But I didn't want to turn around and start moving with a tailwind, so I kind of used our rotors to play along with the wind there. I'm sure that's not an official way that you're supposed to do it, but it is something that I have picked up on doing this. It seems like it works. It does make sense on that it should work, although I do also recognize that it's a dangerous way of doing things. So probably wouldn't want to do that in any sort of professional operation, or at least with something of this significant of a lack of power. R-22 is definitely an underpowered helicopter. So what I think we're going to do, we're going to continue flying here a little bit, do a little bit of sightseeing, and then we're going to hop in the helicopter. The add-on helicopter that I think, with the exception of the pay scale and the earning money in 2024, it in itself, the way the helicopter functions and the quality of it, embarrasses Microsoft 2024. They've got a lot of failures. And I don't know if you want to call them a failure. Maybe it's the way that they just happened to design 2024. They didn't put that much thought into it. But there is a lack of cohesiveness and a lack of effective usage of the resources for career mode, especially for the rotorcraft operations. Can't really speak for the airplane stuff. I don't care for fixed wing, don't really do it. But as far as the rotor stuff, you know, they really failed on that. So if you're looking to buy right now, just get 2020. It's cheap. All the add-ons and DLC, it's cheap. You can more or less do everything here. You don't need to spend the $200 on 2024 yet to get into it. Am I glad that I did? Yeah. You know, it's fun. I enjoy the career mode when it works. I really enjoy being able to, I don't even want to call it long gliding. I enjoy being able to do the cargo hook loading whatever they'd like to call it, despite the fact that it's only a 30-foot long cable that you're operating with. Where typical long line operations use like a 200-foot long line. But I'm not going to be picky because actually having the, I'm not going to follow that because I know what happened last time. I like having it because it's neat to actually have the opportunity to fly with a bit of a swinging weight underneath the helicopter, and for it to actually have the effect on the helicopter like you think it would, where you're not just swinging something useless around and nothing of any sort of recognizable effects happening, where it's just an animation. But you actually do get the feeling of the helicopter being weighed down and being pulled around and being pulled off axis and off balance. The pluses of 2024 is the cargo hook stuff with the career mode. Which the search and rescue stuff's nice, but it's a bit old. It's a bit, I don't want to say messed up, but we can address that once I hop over into this next helicopter here. We'll head over to, we'll work our way to Honolulu. It's a little bit further. Give us a little bit more time here. Yeah. How you doing, other viewer? Hope you had a good Christmas. Hope you're ready for a good New Year. I hope you got 2024, and I hope it actually works for you. Or I hope whatever you're doing in 24 works for you. Unlike all the helicopter stuff in the career mode there. And that's one thing that 2024 does a lot better. Just looking here, having played 2024 more or less non-stop, like 80 or 90 hours on it right now. Trees and vegetation. Like, I do see some palm trees mixed in here, but everything is more or less the same color. Pretty hard to differentiate. You really can't tell. The buildings all look like the same buildings. It's not a bad thing. You know, it's neither here nor there. U.S. Navy air power or U.S. Nair power? I'm going to assume it's Diabetes Max. Okay. Sorry, U.S. Nair power. Diet Beepus Man. Oh, you win the name. I'm going to look up you later. I hope that you stream or something, because that's a beautiful name. I would donate just for that name. I don't want to tell my other viewer to go look for me. Oh man, Diet and Beepus Max. Let's see. I need to work away. Are we going to do a super low, fast approach and not ask for permission to land? Because that sounds exactly like what I want to do. And because, like, we can always do something like this. Like, I'm sure a Cessna can do that, but I don't think it's a savable thing where you keep flying when you do that with a Cessna, or a Piper, or a Beechcraft. Max. You got to do it. Gotta do it. It's the law. How frowned upon is this if you just like go out in the wild and fly under a bridge? Is that something that's allowed? Would the flight instructor kick me out if I were to ask him that? D. Who knows? I don't know of any bridges around here that are capable of that, though, reasonably. Sure, there's highway bridges along the lines of that. There's a few slightly more elevated bridges, like Chattahoochee River stuff near Atlanta. I don't know of any bigger ravine bridges. There's a decent one at Lake Allatoona and Red Top Mountain, where we've helped somebody jump off that one before. So it's not like kill yourself high, but it's we definitely didn't let the main actor do that. That was definitely a stunt person who jumped off that bridge. We definitely had rescue divers there in the water. Let's see. God, I enjoy flying this large. I wish 2024 would swap over our stuff. I wish it would work. That's the big thing. I wish it would just work. You know, if I could hop on there and actually play without it freezing, if it could actually handle the load, phenomenal. That'd be great. I would love it. But I can't. PC's there. My PC can handle it. I've been running it fine. I even take the settings down just a little bit so that way I can get better frame rate for VR stuff, but it's fine. I could run Ultra if I wanted to. But that'd be pushing me right at the 30 FPS thing, but I want to keep it as high as I can for VR stuff. Ooh, we got some circles down here, which means we are going to do some hover in approach practice, which I don't know if I ever streamed what I would do before, but the way that 2020 does these parking lots leaves a lot of these circles. I don't know which way the wind's coming from, but it does a lot of these circles here. And these circles make really great impromptu helipads, because one thing that this game doesn't have a lot of is helipads, weirdly enough. So these circles in the parking lots work really good for that. And the local airport near me that I'll most likely be doing my helicopter stuff at in real life has a large parking lot next to it, which happens to have a lot of these circles in it. And when I say a lot, maybe like 10 of them. And when I say big parking lot, I mean like 100 acres. So it's nice to go into the parking lot and be able to say, okay, cool, let's work on our hover taxiing. And we have all of these random parking lot lines like this. This is what I did for the first 100 hours of Flight Simulators. 100 hours of this in the R22. Well, there was some other stuff too, because I didn't want to get too used to one platform. I wanted to do some main rotors with different rotations. I wanted more power, less power, different aerodynamics, different flight model handling properties, blah, 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 whatever. But I did a lot of hovering in all of those, and a majority, I'd say maybe a good 70-30 split of 100 hours starting out in 2020, or here in this game over there. was just hovering the R22 around parking lots, and I don't want to say autocrossing. For those that are car people, you know what autocrossing is. It's big parking lots that have a lot of cones, fly from one to the other. Set a good time, be precise, don't knock the cones over, and blah blah blah. Whatever, you know, you're racing the clock, you're not racing other people. But I would, for lack of better terms, autocross or helicross around that parking lot. You know, I'd come in and I would do quick approaches, I would fly sideways, I would do orbits of different places, I would do just about anything you can imagine. Just there, you know, it's near me, and I don't want to be like, ooh, the weather, the wind, it's stuff I'll have to be getting used to anyways. You can get that same experience. But I did that for 100 hours. And I'd like to think that I got pretty decent at hovering. I got pretty decent at figuring out the how to get louder. I feel there's somebody around me, because I know whenever I'm flying a helicopter and I see somebody else in a helicopter, I'll usually try to go over near them, just because you see mostly fixed wing people. But yeah, so anyways, this that sounds weird, I don't like it. I'm in the green, I'm in the green, I'm in the green. Everything's in the green on my gauges. Okay, whatever. Actually, let me, yeah, it's in the game. It's not my PC making a crazy noise. Yeah, so let's just say, typically in your flight training, under your approaches, whenever they are getting you started, they give you an entire runway to land on, just like somebody learning to fly in a Cessna 172. But usually, whenever you start getting into... God, shut up. Can I change stations to where I don't have to listen to your shit?
Request flight following.
That's volume. Hell yeah. Don't want to listen to them anyways. So yeah, most times they give you a... No! So yeah, they'll give you an entire runway that you're landing on, but whenever you're flying in real life, for the most part, helipads are where you're going to be heading into. Or if you're doing a off-airport... I need to turn this back on so he actually talks. What a bummer. Turn it down at least. Okay. So... yeah, so you can do your normal approaches, treating something like a runway. This right here is what we would call a steep approach. You can tell because I'm coming down at quite an angle here. And once I get over where I am, there's two different sorts of steep approaches you can do. This here is more of an obstacle avoidance. You can do that steep, shallow, whatever you want to. That's where you come in and you do an out-of-ground effect, lowering hover onto whatever your mark is. Which I can't see my mark. Am I still over it? Yeah. I'll come back about here. But you can't descend too fast because you get into your own downwash and create what is vortex ring state. So about 300 feet per minute or slower. And there's one of our steep approaches with obstacle or whatever avoidance. The other one would be very good for off-field landings. And the reason I say that is a lot of times there's dust. Whenever you're coming into one of those, we'll use this other circle for this one. So instead of doing a thing where you come in and you kind of hover a little bit, you come in a bit steeper, and your goal is to, as soon as you get to where you're at your spot, that's where you want to terminate your descent at. So right here and down. And now my collective's all the way down, so it's not creating any downwash, and therefore not blasting shit everywhere and getting into the engine and into other people's faces, or creating a brownout, or in the snow a whiteout, whatever you'd like to call it. Because standard, what they would want you to do is, let's go to the far one, is you come in here, and that's kind of where your parking place is going to be. You'll come in here, and right here you're blowing up dust, 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 you're blowing up dust. You've killed your engine because you blew up too much dust, and you're finally down. And that's a huge pain in the ass for everybody around you, and then also, especially with the cost of how much anything in aviation actually ends up running. It's not good for components, you know. If you're in a turbine engine, you know, you're sacrificing a $250,000 overhaul because you want it to come in a bit softer or easier. So for stuff where we can pretend it's an off airport one, you do your approach. I don't want to say more committed, but you come in a lot steeper, and you try not to hover, because the quicker you're on the ground and you're off the collective, the quicker you're not blowing dust around. So that's that. And now we do some backwards flying. I don't think they teach this, especially because I'm way over the prescribed inches of torque on the engine, or inches of manifold pressure, which is give or take the torque recommendation. But because this doesn't have a torque thing on it, we have to go by inches of manifold pressure. But we'll get our airspeed up, we'll come over here and set down, and then we'll pick up another helicopter here, and we'll show you how good 2024 could have been. It could have been something amazing. Do I want to go over into the main airport, or let's go all the way over there, you know? We're going to go all the way to Honolulu. Fort Island could be nice, but let's go all the way to Honolulu, and if there's somebody taking off or landing, then we'll do a cameraman sort of thing next to them. It seems to be popping over here. Hawaii's always pretty good, especially at nighttime with people playing live weather. And when I say nighttime, I mean nighttime for the East Coast people like me, because it's now getting dark at 5 o'clock, and that's no fun. Yeah, I doubt Tower could even see me from here. I mean, I can see the tower, so obviously they could see me, but I don't think they'd be looking. I do have a red helicopter today, though, so who knows. Also, I am curious about VATSIM now that I am playing more. And now, like, my...
Helicopter November 240 Sierra Hotel. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
Anyways, now they're done yet, I'm gonna reply to them real quick. We're gonna cross change. No, I'm just gonna land and turn off.
Cleared through Bravo airspace helicopter 0 Sierra Hotel.
But the reason I got into this was to learn how to hover, to help speed up the process of me getting my actual helicopter license by already establishing the general or basic understanding of how rotorcraft work. Building that repetitive ability to work the anti-torque pedals and collective and cyclic, all in a way that's conducive to flying correctly. I say as I fly incorrectly by going backwards and hot dogging it here on international airport grounds. But what we're going to do, sit down, we're going to call this little parallel parking place, because I can. Let's see if I can set my, I'm going to get the right skid cornered up here. Just out. I've also never tried to add. I call that pretty good. Let's see. Let's turn all this down. Throttle down, governor off. Don't need the alternator, don't need nav lights. Yep. Cool. Back to main. Yeah, now let's show you. For the nobody that stuck around with me. Let me check a message real quick, guys. Okay. Back in it, let's go. And now I have not actually flown this helicopter since 2020 came out. We're gonna do the luxury. No, let's do medical. Medical's the fun one. Love the H-145 to start. I think it's an amazing helicopter. Probably out of any skidded civilian helicopters out there, it's probably the coolest. And I think this is the coolest livery if you weren't like a specific medical thing. But I really like the highlighter yellow color. Like the ADAC yellow is kind of just like a, it's going to be like, I watch videos of these things all the time. I love them. I think this one looks better though for professional use. The super highlighter yellow. I think the German search and rescue one here, I believe German, is great. I like the green, I like the orange. It's just enough hidden. But we're gonna do US Coast Guard because guess what? We're in Hawaii still. Yeah, let's see. We'll take off from Honolulu. We'll find a place that looks like it could be parking for something like a medical thing. Yeah, let's do 166 here. Says departure. Weight and balance, fuel, all the way. Okay. Let's see if it starts me cold and dark like I want it to. But yeah, this helicopter here, this is what Microsoft 2024 could have been. One, an extremely well-made model, which nothing against the factory models in 2024, but they aren't as good as this one is, I believe. This one's extremely comprehensive. It was a $50 model, I believe. And I think I paid an extra $20 for the missions and stuff like that. So I bought an entire game, basically, with just this add-on. And I do think it's worth it. And I'm so ready for the extras and stuff to be added on to 2024 to where I can transfer this over. I know it says VR is not fully supported, but believe me, it's supported enough. Okay, let's see if we can remember how to do this. We have our main switch panel up here. Some of these helicopters, some of these would be flipped off in some way, but we'll get battery master on. Those go through like a 20-second sort of thing. This is all of our autopilot stuff here. That's right, this thing does have autopilot. So battery master here, those are our hoist. Let's see. Fuel pump prime. We need those on. Then we should be able to see fuel pressure somewhere on one of these screens. I believe getting established. Strobe light on so people know that we're here. First N1's getting cranked. It is starting. We'll let one engine get established first before we go for another engine. Get you some sound. Okay, that's at idle. So we can get pump number 1 off. And transfer pumps on auto. Collision position. I got landing lights down here. High intensity searchlight. We don't need that quite yet. Let's get our pitot on. Pilot and co-pilot. Come on. There we go. The door automatically closed for me. We can get fuel pump 2 off now. What else are we looking at? Bus tie. Like I said, I haven't flown this one in months, so I've got to remember what I'm doing here. I believe these stay the way they are, correct? Let's see. Want that on. Get all this stuff on. We're not running ground power. Let's type open. Motor RPM. Sick. What else am I forgetting here? Whoop. Don't want that. Is this one? I gotta slide to the left on those, that's right. Yes. Okay, I think the bus tie thing goes away once we start moving. Let me, I believe that was always, I don't want to say an issue, but a thing that I noticed. Let's move real quick and just see if that happens to clear. If not, we'll double check stuff. No? Okay. What was that? F-18, yeah, he was moving. Okay, bus tie. Let's see. What are you? And where are you? 3 viewers. Anybody know where the bus tie thing is? Move this to idle so I don't screw myself. Let's see. Got that on. Bus tie. You're all normal. You're all normal. No, I don't want you off. I want you there. Reset. Reset. Let's see. A lot of screen tearing. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that there's 7,000 people flying around me right now. Rotor RPM should be back in the green now. Bus tie system 2. There we go. Okay. It's time to fuck. Let's go, guys. So, this helicopter right here flies phenomenally. 1. Let's get somewhere where we're not dealing with 7 million people around us. And get rid of our lag situation. Now, I will say that this particular feature crashed a few times on me. Hey, shut up, I'm using torque. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. But this is an extremely well-modeled helicopter. I've got to remember how to use it now. Let's see. Maps and missions. Mission library. I don't want 75 kilometers. I want something on this island. I don't want to bounce islands. So here I can begin taking a service call. I have a new thing. A golfer has a serious medical issue. Open map. Zoom in. And if you can see, it has already sent itself to my Garmin's down here. That's the 750s, I think. So my flight director is already set up. It bounces straight from my tablet, my ForeFlight, my company dispatch. It bounces that straight over here to where I can run it, which is 1, phenomenal, You don't get a lot of medical missions. All the rescue missions that you get are like a lost hiker. So for example, on Flight Sim 2024, only a few areas have the rescue missions, either offshore or in the mountains in the wilderness. And it will be a lost hiker. You take off from an airport nearby and they give you a designated search area, which is just a radius from a certain point. So maybe it's a 10 kilometer by 10 kilometer search area that you have to cover. The person on your radio, once you get there, says, okay, cool, here's your search area, don't leave it. The person was a hiker, they went missing near this area. That was our last contact with them. They were wearing orange hiker gear. And then you fly around aimlessly for anywhere from 2 minutes. I've got lucky sometimes and seen them right away. And then there's been other times where I've flown around and just given up and ended the mission, where I quit back to main menu because you don't get the hit. But sometimes they are in the absolute worst place, which isn't that bad of a thing. You would think, okay, cool, well, you're obviously riding with crew, you're riding with search and rescue people. They don't do anything. They're weight in your helicopter. They are cargo, they are luggage. Self-loading luggage, which is typically what helicopter pilots will say, but they're pretty much self-loading luggage. They don't do anything until you get to the place where you have to spot them. You're busy flying around, looking out your window while trying to fly, trying to spot something orange on the side of a mountain under trees over there somewhere, okay? And while you're doing that, if you don't see them, if they happen to be behind something to where the game doesn't recognize you seeing them, usually when you do, it'll pop an orange smoke, like a smoke grenade or something for you, so that way you can see it. It's like the game's easy mode thing for you, since they know it's already hard as shit and you won't be able to find them. So they'll pop an orange smoke for you. But if you don't see them directly and have your vision locked on them, they're not going to pop the smoke for you. I don't understand how somebody that is not in VR would do that particular sort of helicopter mission. It would be almost impossible without being able to fly and look sideways while you were doing it. What I will say is that they do have a unique thing with that, where the person has like the person rescuing will have a little rescue mirror, so every once in a while you'll get a very small winking of a mirror flashing at you somewhere, and it's just enough to barely capture your attention. But for the most part, you have to fly dangerously close to whatever you're looking for. And then on top of that, when you first start out doing these rescue missions, down the hill we go. When you first start out doing these rescue missions, you aren't allowed to do any hoisting. Which, okay, cool, understandable. You have to work your way up to it. They will park them in the middle of a forest where there are no landing spots. Now, disclaimer, there are landing spots nearby, but it involves you landing in the trees, fighting the ground effect bug, which I've covered many times. If we were in 2024, I'd show you now. But you're fighting the ground effect bug, landing around all the trees, and then you're having to land in trees, physically hitting them with your rotors, because you don't know which ones are full trees and which ones register and which ones have hitboxes. And you're just guessing, trying to land close enough. There are places to land that are further away, but it's not close enough to register as you being close enough to do anything. So, SOL, sorry, you have to land in the trees. You have to crash multiple times, unless you can fight the ground effect bug good enough to land on a tree. Sometimes you're able to square up and get the helicopter to balance on there, but usually it's a one skid sort of thing because you can't see the physical hitbox of the tree. And then when you're doing that, it cutscenes. And when it cutscenes, you lose control. If you've played 2024 and you get a passenger on in your plane or in your helicopter, you realize that you're not able to click on anything during that time. Absolutely unreal that it seems completely untested. And I can understand that they can't vet every single mission because they ought to be AI generated or algorithmically picture generated to keep missions new and fresh, or whatever the case is, whatever. But for the first mission to get approved to do search and rescue missions, you have to land in the trees. Like I said, it didn't vet the first mission. It's like they made the mission, they said, okay, cool, let's check to make sure we can make the mission for hoisting. And the hoisting mission, it's in the ocean. And once again, these people that are here with you are completely useless. They don't do anything. There's no left, there's no right, there's no up, there's no down. If you were to lower your guy on your hoist down next to him, you could be 2 foot away from the circle that he can get to, but he's not going to swim there. You have to drag his body to where it needs to be. Your rescue swimmer is useless unless he's in that 4 foot wide circle of where he needs to be hoisted down to. Which I'm sure if you're running third person and you're running the assistances with your all your flight controls, but when you're not able to do that and when you don't have a rescue window beneath you, it's, I don't want to say impossible because it's something that I was able to do, but it sucks. It's absolutely horrible, and it's something I paid $200 for in good faith that they would have at least vetted the ability to do the missions that they claim that you'll be able to do. Looks like we're over here, and now we could land. I'm going to do hoisting, and I'm going to show you how good hoisting is in this particular game, or with this add-on. Now, we're more than capable of landing, okay? Are we going to be over here? Oh no, we're here at the... Okay, so if you look at my screen here, there's a dot. Oh, he's going through the woods. Sorry, but I didn't know we were out over here. Just saw the ambulance there. So our crew guy is going to have to walk all the way over here. Hate ya, sorry. But I don't know if you're able to see what I just saw there. Oh, hello. Oh! That was on me. I went straight into fucking Vortex Ring State. I was trying to show you the crew guy. Yeah, whatever. Actually, I don't want to start there. That was such an annoying place to start. So yeah, that's Vortex Ring State there, guys. That's me not paying attention because I'm trying to yap at the same time. Let's pop back in here real quick. Yes, there's a million people over here. We're going to set his departure. Actually, no. Delete departure, set his departure. Sick. Don't want to go through the startup stuff again. But vortex ring state falling below 300 feet per second. Yeah, my bad. Whoopsie. Oopsie daisy. Curb my wheels. Lost 2 viewers. Wow, look how fast this loads. Take note, 2024. It's almost like housing the game on my PC is a good thing. Blah, blah, ready to fly. Okay, cool. We're already up in flight. We're up in flight. Oh, that's good. Map submissions, missions. Set this super short because I want to actually show this. Opening map. And I will give that credit to this model too. A lot of the other helicopters, they are very tough to get into vortex ring state, where it's almost not an issue. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to get into it on purpose to show what it is and how to get out of it. So vortex ring state, we're going to slow down our airspeed to none. Look on my screen on the left side, you got numbers 60, 40. We're going to get ourselves down to 0 airspeed, or as close to it as we can. On the right side, we have that little sweeping thing that says a 2 on it right there. We're going to get that, that's our rate of ascent. We're going to get that into a rate of descent. And see, once we start dipping below a certain bit, slowly letting down my collective, because we are still, it's trying to hover. No, less. And see, there we go. There's the drop. So right pedal. Hello. Cool, we need some more practice on this. Let's do this, guys, you know? We're going to a mission, but the mission can wait. Typically the way is pedal out, add a lot of, not a lot, an acceptable amount of collective. And push forward, and you'll kind of fly yourself out of it. Slowing down. Lowering collective. 400 feet, 5, 6, 7, vortex ring to the right. Push forward. And there we go. Now we're out of it and flying again. It is possible just to push forward also, but the right pedal helps a lot, or left pedal if you're in something that has the opposite turning of your main rotor. But that's flying down into your own downwash. Not a fun thing to do. Yeah, whoever my guy that went on the hoist last time, you survived that. Although I do think we would have survived that. We hit the ground slowish. Let's do another one real quick while we're here. Let's quick stop ourselves down to no airspeed. Currently 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, leveling out. Lowering collective. There we go, and I'm just going to push forward and pull up. There we go. Cool. But this one's easy to get out. The Robinson you have to fight, which is why I did the hard right pedal when we were going through it. But I think on this 145 it's probably more prescribed just to push forward and power out, because very rarely are you running enough collective to be maxing out whatever pitch you need. Everybody's just transient in here today. Nobody's playing along. That's cool. Do your thing.
H14500 Sierra Hotel, leaving my airspace frequency
Leaving my
change approved.
airspace frequency change approved. Shut up.
Kaneohe Tower H145, November 240, Sierra Hotel, frequency change.
Go over this bigger one over here.
Kaneohe approach H145, November 240, Sierra Hotel, is type H145 5 miles southwest of Kaneohe, 2,100 feet. Request flight following.
Oops, somebody's in the Capri over there. Poop stain. What up?
H145 November.
Doing helicopter things. Good for you, bud.
Hotel, Kaneohe approach. Squawk 251 tree.
Pull
Squawk
up.
251
Pull up.
tree H1450, Sierra Hotel.
H145 Sierra Hotel.
Big
radar contact,
tits.
6 miles
412.
southwest of Kaneohe, 2,300
Love tits.
feet. Altimeter tree 0.0 tree.
Roger H1450, Sierra Hotel.
H145 Sierra Hotel. Contact approach on 124.8. Good day.
124.8 H1450, Sierra Hotel. Goodbye. Approach H145, November 240, Sierra Hotel, 1,300 feet.
H145 November 240 Sierra Hotel approach altimeter tree 0.05 radar contact continue.
Approach H145, November 240, Sierra Hotel. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
Okay, we're getting close. We're down here on this map.
Hotel approach. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
Yeah, we're going to demonstrate that again, but not
Cleared through
fuck
Bravo
ourselves this
airspace,
time, because we're not going to try to show you the dude
H145
walking.
Sierra Hotel.
But it was cool because the dude was actually walking. He was going somewhere. He was doing something. He wasn't just a useless thing hanging on the end of a hoist line. He would get off the hoist. He'd walk over there, and even now, if I were to do a landing here, the people will hop out, take a stretcher to wherever the person is, and then walk the person back on the stretcher. Versus 2024, something that I paid $200-something for. And they have millions and millions of dollars at their disposal for the creation and vetting of everything in this game. Couldn't do that. Now we have this, we're going to switch to hoisting. There we go. We're looking for our golf carts. It's going to be over here. Crew is being hoisted down. Don't hoist down yet. We're still coming in, idiot. So we'll establish a hover here. I'm going to turn this way a little bit so I can see what's going on. And actually, I can help speed this up. Because if you look at my iPad screen over here, it gives me the ability to pinpoint myself over the target that I need to hover on. What a wild concept. So now I don't need to look down. They don't need to program crew members telling me left, right, up, down, whatever. I can sit here and look at my iPad screen and just assume that that's what they're doing. That's my crew member telling me left, right, forward, backward. A little bit of wind playing with me, but no big deal. A little bit of me just being not the best helicopter pilot, but you know, whatever, no big deal. There is a hover button that I could click, but there is no fun in the hover button. Yeah, in 2024, you already have your tablet, your EFB. Hover, hoist up the crew and the patient. See? Now I know what's going on. And so they have the EFB already. Cool, they're in. Or they're right there, you know. Either way, I'm going to wait until it tells me that crew's on board. Because I actually will get a verbal from my crew that tells me that they're on. I believe right now. Yep, I just saw a shadow. Cabin secure. See? It was actually my crew member telling me cabin secure. He doesn't have to tell me left, right, up, down. That's fine. I get it. What we're going to do... Oop, that's usually where this thing crashes. Not when I say this thing, I mean this add-on. Sure, accept destination. Then we accept the hospital. And we go there. I don't know why 2024 couldn't do that. 2020, I don't know if Hype Group told 2024 to fuck off. That the tablet giving direction was their thing. I don't know if it's something they happen to do a copyright on, or a trademark or something. I don't know. But whatever price Microsoft needs to pay to earn the rights to put that little crosshair on your tablet, they should pay. Or they're already so heavily invested in the absolutely horrid AI speaking that you hear anytime somebody's riding in your cabin, "I'm just going here for a business trip. Of course, Mom, I ate breakfast. I'm 37 years old." If they can give you that horrid AI where they couldn't even pay a voice actor, it will cost them absolutely nothing to get the voices for left, right, forward, backward, up, down, hold still, time to go, cabin secure. It will cost them nothing for that. Yet they didn't. Like I said, I can understand they don't want to program that in. Hype has its buy it from Hype. Hype has their the thing where the system, the tablet crosshairs. The thing that solves one of the largest problems with the 2024 helicopter mode. Landing effect bug, or ground effect bug, that's a big one. You know, you can't do the what's it called, the agricultural stuff, because you have to land on a small raised platform, which is the bed of the refill truck, and that gives you the ground effect bug and ends up trashing you if you're not quick enough about it. When I say quick enough, I mean dangerous enough to hopefully you get it right. I honestly don't know how I got past the original mission. It was really more of a luck thing. I'm going to land in this direction here so we can see our dude pop out and take our patient inside. Because that's something that an add-on did for a helicopter that they offered that a whole ass game studio and a half couldn't do for theirs. Got both our engines at idle, so I can do this without destroying the helicopter. But this dude here will get out. He will walk around back. Walk, not teleport. He'll open up our back hatch. He will get the stretcher out. And get the stretcher out, not teleport. The legs even fold down, guys. Nope. That's what I said, I'll try to do this without killing you. Because when you look around, you bump your controls, and I don't have self-centering controls. There he goes. Now, of course, it does do a little teleport of the whatever guy away. I'll let that slide because you're supposed to be on a roof, or you're supposed to be an established helipad, or it's supposed to be something. So I'll give that a pass for this. Just out of 2020 didn't have all the hospitals and helipads established. That's the sound of him dealing with doors. Nope. And then we'll listen up because he'll tell us cabin secure once he hops himself back in.
Canada 589er Heavy is passing 9,900 feet, climbing flight level 250. Air Canada 589er Heavy, approach altimeter 30.05 radar contact. Continue to Annette.
Cabin secure. Thank you. No, I did not click. Fuck off. No. No. No, you stupid VR controller. I'm not shutting down. No, no, no. We're going to flight. God, that's annoying. Did I kill it? VR controllers are sometimes a bit of an ass. And here, look, we already have a new one. A student's been seriously injured while at school. Cool, we're going to go help him. Right now we're waiting on a rotor RPM. Here.
Approach Hawaiian Tree 74 Heavy is passing 5,900 feet, descending 4,000 feet.
A little bit of forward right. A little bit of up. Let it level itself off. Fight with our frames. And off we go. frame rate on this is killing me right now. But this is an intensive model, and it's understood. I get it, you know.
Approach H145
At least it was
November
built the right
240
way.
Sierra Hotel is type H145 4 miles east of Honolulu 300 feet. Request flight following.
H145, November 240, Sierra Hotel
We're
approach.
already past VY, but we're going to want to climb.
Hawaiian Tree 74 Heavy, you are 18 miles west of Honolulu. Contact Honolulu Tower on 118.11 inbound.
Slow down a little bit, hit our
Squawk
climb rate.
171 H1450 Sierra Hotel.
H1450 Sierra Hotel radar contact 5 miles east of Honolulu 1,200 feet. Altimeter 30.05.
God, everybody's visiting, nobody's talking. Somebody
Roger,
say something in there, goodness.
H1450 Sierra Hotel.
What are we doing? How are y'all doing? Good Christmas? Y'all ready for New Year's? Big plans?
118.1 Hawaiian Tree 74 Heavy.
What are you missing? What do you want to see? Do you want to see if we can hop into 2024 and make it work, or are y'all cool with 2020 for right now? Any New Year's resolutions? You lifting weights? Why haven't you started now? Why are you waiting until New Year's? Somebody give me some interaction so I don't have to keep yapping to myself.
H1450 Sierra Hotel contact Kaneohe approach on 125.0. Good day.
Make this gap
125.0
here.
H1450 Sierra Hotel. Goodbye. Kaneohe.
But for those of y'all who are just coming in, we are in the Hype Performance Group. I believe that's what it's called, or Hype Group.
H145 November
God, they
240
talk
Sierra
so
Hotel,
much.
Kaneohe approach altimeter 30.05 radar contact. Continue.
Yeah, so we are in the H-145, running medical missions with the add-on that came as a parallel purchase with the helicopter itself in Microsoft 2020. Why are the frames so low? Because it's an extremely intensive helicopter in 2020, and that's the way the cookie crumbles, because I didn't spend $10,000 on a computer. The only reason I got this computer and this setup was to help learn how to hover in real life, to help speed up the private pilot's license. And if I end up spending $10,000 on a PC and everything to learn how to do that, then it kind of defeated its purpose of saving money, learning how to do it. So a max price of $2,000 on the PC. I spent $1,500 on the peripherals, being the Apache Simulator R44 controls, and VR headset, $500, so $4,000 altogether. Let's see. It's time for a new machine. Well, it might be. And it is a bit for me and a bit for stream. I am on Starlink. That's one of the holding back things for me. I live in the middle of absolute nowhere. So Starlink is killing it a bit. The machine's new. It's a 4070 Ti Super. It's a AMD 7800X 3D. It's not perfect. But like I said, I didn't... My purpose in doing this wasn't to get the perfect sim setup. It wasn't to get the perfect streaming setup. If I wasn't flying this helicopter, honestly, the frames would be good. It's just this helicopter is a stout setup from them. And when I say stout, I mean it's very good detail. And let's not run into the bay. What do you say? It's very good detail. And it's like, okay, cool. I kind of enjoy doing the medical missions in this just because I enjoy the 145. And honestly, I could probably even do this and kill some of the vector data. That's whenever it's bump that down, bump that down. I don't even need cloud stuff because I'm flying way below them anyways. All these will automatically apply. I don't have to do anything. Yeah, like that will help. It's running much smoother now. Doesn't look as good. But like I said, I didn't get this to look good. I got this to, for lack of better terms, cheap hours. And right now I'm about 200 and something hours on this, so I'm paying $20 an hour for decent flight time. Not complaining. Are you fixed wing, private, or is your helicopter your first license? I'm only going to do helicopter. Starting this year, I have honestly no, I don't want to say no intention, but no desire to do fixed wing, because I would like to make a career out of it to start with. So when you're doing fixed wing stuff, your career path is hopping in a plane and clicking autopilot for the most part, you know. Where's my ambulance at? Is that him up here? For the most part, you're hopping in, you're clicking autopilot, and that doesn't appeal to me. I know it's a thing for a lot of people. They want to fly airliners, they want to do private flights, they want to do something of the sort. I've got absolutely zero interest in that. Currently, I don't know if you know me or know what my history is. I am a props, like prop master, assistant prop master, and an armorer in the film industry. So I'm the dude that does the guns on movie sets, a lot of big budget productions, Hollywood, whatever. Anyways, I'm just kind of tired of Hollywood in general right now. So, let's see, where am I going to put down that? Just kind of tired of it, and the thing that keeps me excited in life is being challenged. I like going to work, I like doing something different, which is why I enjoy the film industry. Some days, you know, we're doing one thing, and some days we're in a completely different place, you know. I enjoy not being the best at something. So if I can go to work every single day and be challenged and always grow and always chase becoming better, that's what I'd like to do. And I think helicopter piloting is that direction for me. Left, right. I'll use my mouse. I don't want to turn the damn thing off. Yeah, I've helicopter piloting is challenging. You know, they say it's 10 to 12 hours to learn how to hover. It took me 10 to 12 hours to learn how to hover in this. Anyways, so, you know, I might as well knock it out here. I'm using Apache R44, or Apache Simulators R44 V2, I think is the setup. I got it because it's the most similar thing to the Robinson R22, which is what you practice in. It's just like if I wanted to do fixed wing stuff, I probably would have got the basic Cessna 150, 172 controls, because I want to learn on something that feels the most accurate to what I'll be putting hours on. And I did like 100 or so hours in the R22 hovering around before I got into this, or started buying these other models and stuff, which actually I'm tired of this already. Let's see. Let's go R22 so I can do some asshole flying. I really enjoy that, actually. And what I'll do, I'll even come back over to the home airport. I don't want to say do a technical demonstration, but show like what I did for hours. Wow, daytime's so short now. Let's see, where are we? There's Atlanta. This us here? Yeah. It's just set from the runway. I don't want to have to fight getting started. Let's see. Vipral sticks and throttle I set up years ago when they were the best sticks I've ever owned. Yeah, I've read into those. I looked into a handful of different stuff. Now that I've got 250 hours or so doing this in the past 4 months, I don't think the sticks matter as much. So I probably could have gone slightly cheaper or got some slightly quicker than a governor on, throttle up. But I feel like I could have gone different for sure with what I have, and it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. The only weird thing is my setup looks almost exactly like this. So it is weird pushing the stick to the left and not doing it from more of a close mounted, like typical joystick setup. But at the end of the day, I don't think it matters that much for me. And the reason I say that is, once again, my purpose in doing all this was to learn how to hover. And for anybody who's watching that's not me or him and doesn't understand that for helicopter stuff, it's not an intuitive thing. You can understand how it works, but it doesn't click immediately for most people from what I understand. So I'm sure I could have gotten a Vipril setup or any other brand of peripherals to do this with. And I think I would have eventually end up getting the same benefits out of it. Really, the only thing that I wish I had right now was like a self-centering cyclic. That'd be sick. Because right now, if I were to walk away from the PC or whatever, it'd go all the way one way or the other way, and it could end up crashing and whatever. It becomes a pain in the ass. When I hovered in the Huey and DCS, people couldn't believe how steady I was. Most of the sticks, in fact, I was just sitting in the sim rig so motionless. Oh yeah, and the thing is with these, I'm not going to say they're bad quality. For the price I paid, $1,500, they were great. Or they do great. You know, they're super sensitive. I mean, every little input's picked up, but you can't really see how fine of a movement I'm doing with my hands. But I'm sure you know, it's you breathe on a helicopter stick, and you touch the cyclic, and it does something. You know, it's so, I don't want to say naturally or unnaturally sensitive, but it's just a different thing compared to what most people would assume. Like any video that you see, people say like, oh cool, just think about what direction you want to go and the helicopter will follow. And I actually kind of don't mind having the shittier sticks, for a reason that you can probably understand. Not having the self-centering. So currently not a helicopter pilot. I've literally taught myself how to do this watching videos and stuff. So I'll show you how I learned how to hover real quick, so you can kind of see what my thought process was on this. So for those of you that don't know, the vertical stabilizer on the back of the helicopter is great because once you get off the ground and start moving forward, your helicopter will kind of keep itself centered. You really don't have to touch the pedals. Sure, it may crab a little bit one way or the other way, or be out of trim. Either way, I'm not touching the pedals now, and it just kind of flies like an airplane. So what I would do, I would hop in, I would turn damage off, so if I crashed, I crashed, no big deal, I could just keep going. But what I would do, I would come into this big parking lot here, and I would just work on slowing down. And with this, you're pretty set with what your hands are doing anyways. But when you're working on your pedals, you can do your left, rights, or whatever. And when you're first working on slowing down, of course, by the time you're getting near a hover, you're going to end up toasting yourself. But what I ended up doing was just slowing down more and more and more. And eventually I would take off and I'd come in and I'd get into my hover. Once I would land, I would work on picking back up again, and I'd keep my hands held exactly where they were when I was hovering. So let's say I'm coming into this triangle here. I would hit my hover and say, okay, cool, I'm pretty much holding stick still. And I would set my collective down. And then I would pick back up again and then start going. And you can see here I'm still holding my stick still, and it's wasn't perfect, so it'll end up biting you. But that was kind of the way I taught myself how to hover. I'd come in slowly on an approach and do it from there. Let's see. Yeah, constructive criticism, bring it on. By the way, if y'all see me looking over here, I run the stream on my phone so I can read stuff because I've yet to download any of the whatevers to read your stream comments. Yeah, toss whatever you want. I'm always open to criticism. Will I listen? Who knows? But, yeah. But anyways, I taught myself how to hover that since I didn't have an instructor to sit next to me and operate the cyclic and operate the pedals for me while I learned the collective and how sensitive it was. And usually what they'll do, they'll babysit 2 of the controls for you and let you do the 3rd. And they'll do that with all of them and let you do 2 at a time and try it in all combinations and slowly give it to you. But, I'm not going to call myself an expert. I am self-taught, but I try to run the maneuver books as much as I can, and when I am being serious and learning what I'm doing, I really do try to pay attention, but a lot of times when I'm in here, I'm just yapping. But more or less the first 100 or so hours of me in 2020 here was in this R22, hovering around this parking lot next to my home airport, and treating this more or less like an autocross course for helicopters. Coming in, or I would say, okay, cool, let me try to get somewhere as quick as I can, do quick stops and whatever else. You know, it's like I kind of have my flight plan. Like over here, I know there's a circle in the corner over here. So after I'd be a good boy and hovering nice and slowly per the book for a while, like you come in and you start doing more aggressive approaches in and stuff. Because it's also kind of the way my brain works is I learn stuff by doing something faster initially versus crawling first. I'm a run first to learn sort of guy. And doing it with a helicopter that you can stuff into the ground and not worry about balling up a $250,000 brand new R22 or hurting yourself or whatever. You know, it's not that bad of a thing. Let's see. Pick my phone up again and watch you fly. There. Silky smooth, slow, fluid, motionless, hover for as long as you can. It's a principle thing. Oh yeah, like I said, as you were typing that, my first 100 hours, give or take, I would do like a 1 hour session of just pretty much this. Like once I would take off and do my slow approaches, and once I learned how to hover initially, I would follow all the lines in this parking lot as good as I can. I would set up all the winds to do different stuff, where I would have gusts coming out of one direction and standard wind coming out of another direction. I do all my pedal turns. But I also think that's where I'm mentally separate doing the sim stuff from some people. I got this as a utility at first, and now I think that I've got my utility out of it. I built that, what's it called, that neural pathway, that neural connection in my head where I know what it's going to do when I input a little bit of pedal here, a little bit of pedal there. If I put a little bit of right pedal in, cool, I have to mess with collective or cyclic or whatever it is. I honestly don't even think about it much anymore. But I built that understanding in my head of how it works, and that was initially my my whatever. Let me use this so I can throw my hands around. Like that was, like I said, that was my purpose of doing this, was to learn how to hover. So now, like you said, me flying too fast, it's me. I don't want to say bored with it, but it's like if you get a go-kart to learn how to parallel park. Once you learn how to, assuming it has reverse, you know, like once you learn how to parallel park, you still have a go-kart. You know, so there's I would do this for, like I said, I think I have around 100 hours or so just in this same fucking parking lot right here. But then, of course, like, after you do that, it's cool, let me see how close I can get my rotors to the ground here, you know, or let's do a sideways quick stop and come in and lose the rotor speed and get it back. And I don't want to say put yourself in a dangerous position, but I think there is some sort of benefit to this, to some extent. And I'm not going to claim that I'm an expert. Like I said, I'm not a licensed pilot or anything. I'm definitely not a CFI or anybody who has crazy hours doing the real thing. But if you were to take a normal person in R22, I'm not even caring about my manifold pressure right now. I'm just doing thing. Like, if you were to tell him to do like an almost 180-degree roll and pull up and do this, and then get the skids as close to the ground as he can, and then slide and like fly backwards, and like, you could tell him to do that in one, but there's a chance you're going to ball that R22 up. And then also, if you crash, then cool, you don't have something to practice that with anymore. You don't put yourself in that situation. So I think the simulator, getting to fly with anger, I think it gives you this weird ability or sense to understand what some limitations are, how different things could work, or whatever. Let me read your message here. To refuel the fly, use very similar dexterity and anticipation you will need. Throttle bracketing, yeah. I've heard mention of that. I'm not going to pretend like I know what you're talking about. I've heard it used in conversation before, though. Yeah, so it's like, I've done a couple little stunt things here and there, working in the film industry. And a lot of my stunt friends, they actually, over here at the airport, or not the airport, but this is Atlanta Motor Speedway right here. One of them rents a shop here at Atlanta Motor Speedway inside the speedway, which it's not rendered in here. This is 2024. I could show you the damn garage door because they did a good job at the speedway here. But he rents a garage right here. And down here there's actually a parking lot, but we can imagine it's this one here. And get my both hands back on the controls again real quick. But yeah, so once a week, with his lease or whatever that he has with this garage at Atlanta Motor Speedway, he's allowed to go out and practice stunt driving. And then anybody else who pays his yearly subscription fee or a couple $100 a day and they're a reputable stunt person can come out and do stunt driving practice. And they set up the cones and they'll drive 60, 70 miles an hour and do the e-brake turns into them and then smack the cones and they go, okay, cool, I maybe pulled the handbrake a little bit too late. Or maybe I didn't use enough left foot braking while I was sideways coming in. And they crash with cones hundreds of times, learning the different techniques to become better. And that's what I kind of see this as. You can't really do that with a real helicopter because, like I said, you can ball up $250,000 worth of shit really quick, and then you can lose your license and you end up getting a lot of downside from it. But I do think, I don't know if it's a realized benefit, but I do think there is some sort of benefit to flying against the rules and flying in anger of some sort. Let me set down over here in this triangle. Actually, we'll set down the other way and put our fat end near the fat end of the triangle. Yeah, like, even though it's still just basic hovering and stuff, I still will come back to 2020 here a couple of times a week. Even when 2024 is working for me, I'll still come back here and just hover around the parking lot for an hour here or there, just because it's a weird technical thing that's hard to do. Hovering is hard. And anticipating the thrust, I was talking to the guys that had almost no real understanding of aviation way. They are enthusiasts, which is fine. Yeah, that's another thing. It's a weird group with simulator flyers. There's a handful of channels that I watch, who a lot of them will do like 737 stuff or A320 stuff and fly around and do whatever, you know, they're doing full trips, but it's I think for them it's a bit more of an exercise if they understand how the autopilot works, so they can set it up and they can talk to their viewers and they can do whatever. Or they like hand flying the takeoff and the landing and the approaches, but they're not really and then they're, like I said, then they're just doing the autopilot stuff. I forget where I was going. Oh yeah, but yeah, I had commented on one of their streams one time, and he had like 1,000 viewers or something, but it was just like pure luck that he happened to see my comment. But I was like, cool, are you ever going to go get your actual PPL? And he's like, no, I've actually got no interest in doing aviation in real life. So there's a handful of people that have no interest in it. They just enjoy the act of flying. There's the people who don't want to do it, enjoy the flying, but they also have the appreciation for the physics of aviation. Hello from Hawaii? Oh, hello Gwen. You're from Why People Hawaii. I was actually flying out there earlier, you missed that. I was actually flying over that area we were talking about. Yeah, so there's people that do understand the physics of stuff, of it, and they will, I don't want to say that they're better at doing flights than stuff because they understand the physics of what they're doing, but it kind of appears that way to me in some way, shape, or form. And actually, we're going to do a physics experiment here. Let me get a little bit of elevation. I'm not even going to pay attention to my manifold pressure, because guess what? I don't have to pay for maintenance on this engine, so it doesn't matter to me. But we're going to do an auto rotation real quick, just because it's good practice. On my collective here, I have that switch on the front. That is my governor. Governor's going off, throttle's going down. So you can see my two needles here. The one on the left is my engine RPM. It's going down because that engine isn't idle. My right one's going up, and I'm going to feather my collective to hold it as close to the green as I can. I'm going to aim myself towards the taxiway here because that's where we're going to be setting down at. I'm going to try to keep my airspeed up a little bit. Once we get down to the height of the trees or so, I will start a bit more of a flare, and using up this energy that I have saved in the rotor system from the falling, and do a bit of a running landing. That was a bit of a rough one. I don't want to say I toasted it, but I started using up my energy a bit before I should have been. But that's an auto rotation. We're having fun with it here. 2020 is wonderful. I have more time in that than I ever can really know. I honestly feel like I've stuck myself into this world in like a weird place where I do plan on flying 2025. I will be private by the end of 2025. It's just a matter of finding time in my job and everything. Just bought 2020. This download is brutal, but it's totally worth it. I'll let 2024 ripen for... Yeah, dude, let 2024 ripen. There's no reason right now to get into 24 because I've got it. I bought the full-ass version. Got a decent PC. It runs fine when it runs, but the past week or so, dude, I cannot get it to load more than like one career mission or one free flight, or you go to leave it and then you're stuck in the leaving menu system for 10 minutes and then you give up on it. 2024 is not worth it right now. If you already have it like me, it's like, cool, maybe you get on, maybe you can use it, maybe you can make something happen, but you can't even pick a fucking livery on a helicopter. You can't even pick a pre-made livery on a helicopter without it crashing sometimes, which is wild to me. Also, they shouldn't allow you to make your own liveries. Yes, I do acknowledge that there will be people making less than politically correct liveries for their things, but if you're playing multiplayer, guess what? Let's just not show each other your liveries, and let's just make it a personal thing where you can see your livery, but nobody else can. You know, that would be cool. Let's go to another auto rotation. I need a redemption shot. A little bit nicer than that. See, actually, I saw that you said something else there, but I was reading everybody else's shit. DCS is free. The Huey isn't. I would not want to switch. Hopefully Flight 71 was released.
Approach helicopter November 240
there you go. I'm out for now.
Sierra Hotel is
Best of
type
luck. Silky
helicopter
smooth. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I'm streaming more and more often now that I've hit the 500 mark. Stop back in and yap anytime. I'm open to any criticisms or whatever, and whenever I start flying for real, I'll be posting that shit as well. But yeah, 2024, I don't think it's worth buying. There's so much shit that's going on with it. The career modes for the helicopter stuff. I don't know if you've heard me talking about it on another stream, man. Flew flights. Okay. Yeah, JP, I don't know if you got my other streams, but there's so many things that are wrong with 2024 that just make career mode unusable, and I am in some bad fucking conditions right now. Can't see shit. Anyway, governor off, throttle off, let's go. Collected down. We're managing our rotor speed. I've got way too much rotor speed right now, so we're gonna add some pitch. Lose the pitch, add the pitch. We're gonna come in and try to land in the same place. When I want more rotor speed, I pull back a little bit and I let the collective down some. I'm going to lean forward on this and build a little bit of airspeed. I can trade that airspeed here. Ooh, that was another rough one. I am not feeling it today. It was funny, I did a shit ton of auto rotations the other day in 2024 on the A-Star. And that was a weird one because it doesn't really get the rotor speed back. It's almost impossible to get it up to a usable rotor speed. But you could still land safely. It's just a low rotor speed landing. Actually, we're going to do it here while we're in the danger zone. And this is typically the worst time to lose an engine when you're on approach where you don't have the altitude to plan for it. And we add the pitch in. There we go. Much nicer. Cool. Get our RPM back up. Okay, let's go do some... Let's go do some asshole flying. What do you say, baby? Mwah. Let's go. Let's get our license revoked by Mr. FAA himself. Let's give these damn refuelers a heart attack here. What do you say? Buzz your head. Also, I'm pretty sure half these maneuvers will just fold the tail boom on this thing. But, that's one of the plus sides to flying in a simulator, that you don't have any sort of maintenance that you have to worry about here. Let's see, where are we going? Where are we going? Also, if anybody has anything they want to see, or places they want to fly around, I have most of the helicopters downloaded for 2020 here, so we can hop in anything. With reason. Let me set this down real quick. I'll read that comment that got posted there in chat. Let's see. Like FSF for reveal any upgrade will be welcome. Never had any luck with helicopters though. Yeah, helicopters it's weird, so I don't know what your physical, or not physical, but what your understanding of helicopter physics is. But basically, your main rotor is spinning in one direction or the other. You have a collective here. Your rotor is always going to spin the same RPM. That is this right here, the right side. That's why it says R for rotor. Always going to spin the same RPM. When you pull up on the collective, that adds pitch to your main rotor, and that makes you go up or down. That pitch also increases the torque on the entire body. Let me even up my pedals here. So when I pull up, you see I'm twisting to the right, even though I'm keeping my pedals straight, and that's because the engine's trying to spin the helicopter the opposite way that the blades are turning. So in your takeoff, when you're pulling up on your collective like I am now, I have to add left pedal to keep that even and keep that straight. So you can see I've got a little bit of the left pedal here managing my hover. And now when you're doing that, that's your tail rotor pushing you one way or the other. If you think about the center axis of rotation of the helicopter, that's also actually giving you a little bit of a left or a right tilt depending on what your airframe is. So you have to have a little bit of management of that with your collective itself. And of course, if you want to go forward, backward, left, right, that has to do all of that. You also have to consider when you're doing rights or lefts, you are adding pitch to one side of your blade system, and you're not taking any pitch away, so you are adding a little bit of lift to the system overall, so you'll have to manage your collective to keep yourself at the same height. So let's say right now I wanted to go to the right, I'm actually lowering my collective a little bit while moving my stick to my cyclic to the left and to the right. Same thing with forward and backward. With forward also, once you get to a certain speed, you have effective transitional lift, which is where your rotor system's creating lift as a wing, which begins lifting you up. I'm not changing anything right now, just the forward airspeed is creating enough lift for the helicopter to go up, which is good for small underpowered airframes like this. I see you got another comment. Let me set down real quick. Also, I like flying with shadows. I think the shadows are cool. Let's see. KCSG, it's my local airport. Is that Columbus, Ohio, or Columbus, Georgia? I mean, I'll hop out and type it in anyways, but if you can tell me, that might help speed it up. Any preference on airframe? Columbus Metropolitan. That sounds like you're talking about Columbus, Ohio. Let's see. KCSG. Search. KCSG. Yeah, Columbus. Oh, why are you zoomed all the way in? There we go. Oh, Columbus, Georgia, what up? Let's go. It says departure. Let's see, got a handful of helis here. Let's do... Actually, I don't want to start this one. So we'll just start on the runway. Remove this as departure. Whatever aircraft I want. Heli. Or let's do high skid. I like the high skid model. We'll get you guys some Huey sounds. Get your headphones ready, boys. Columbus, Georgia. I am going to bust some fucking military airspace right now. I'll tell you what. They are not going to stop me from flying over the base. I forget this one has me set all weird and funny. Yeah. It's okay, you don't have to go nowhere. This thing's got some crazy torque in its stuff. It's more where I feel comfortable. Got the doors off, so we got the sounds in. Let's do it. Got a little bit of this. Let's look around the home airport some. Let's do a perimeter check. Don't worry, guys, I'm staying clear of the active. No reason to freak out. I'm only getting right in the way of their approach and departure. I will say this probably looks a hell of a lot better in 2024, because I can almost promise you those are all hangar pads there. Although we do have, looks like an A320 or something over here. I put that sound in there just for you guys. I knew you'd want a little bit of chop. between a time like this. Oh, Amazon. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate. Okay, let's see what direction we headed. We're heading kind of east. Which means that's probably the base over here in this direction. Fort Benning. Lawson. Let's see if we can do this while we're flying here. Do I have my... See, that's another thing. So I've got my ATC talk button, my comms button, to set up my toolbar here. It works 20% of the time in 2024. It's unbelievable how bad it is. And then, like, doing the career mode missions and stuff, it works half the time. You get dinged on your reputation. Q Fortunate Son, for real. There is a button in here somewhere for that, I'm pretty sure. Dun dun. I'm not going to sing. Okay, so for those of you who haven't played 2024 yet, let me give you a demonstration of what sucks about it. So when you're doing, like, let's say an agricultural mission, you have to land on the back of a truck in order to refill your helicopter's chemtrail tank. So what you got to do, we'll pretend this building here is a truck, and you will be doing the world's absolute smoothest approach to this medium-duty Freightliner or international truck that has a chemtrail tank on the back. And as soon as you come in to set your little happy skids down on it, your helicopter does this, and it throws itself off because there is no smooth progression of ground effect while approaching an elevated landing platform or elevated piece of ground. So you're already a foot off the ground, then it gives you full ground effect when you're out of ground effect, and yeah, it sucks. It's horrible. Some folks are born. Ooh, red, white, and blue. Like, I actually just enjoy flying the Huey just for the sounds. That's the reason I don't have the doors turned on this model. Like, who's doors? Like it actually gives you less sound. Let's see. Why is it doing this now? Weird. I'm not trying to click that. Oh, because the door is open. But yeah, it changes sound when the doors are on and off. So, yeah, that's thing. But yeah, that is whack. The whole ground effect crap. It's horrible because the missions where you're doing the crop dusting are fun. It's the closest thing to allowable fighter jet flying that you do in a helicopter. Like the other missions, I guess the other fun ones would be like the cargo hook and the construction, the heavy lift stuff. But yeah, the cargo lift or heavy lift stuff, which is nice because you get to sling weight from under you, and it actually gives an effect to the helicopter. Which those are nice, but you don't have anybody telling you left, right, up, or down. You have to either actually be good at doing vertical reference and be able to look off the side and see what you're doing, which it's hard to because they only give you a 30-foot long line instead of like a 200-foot long line like you should have. You know, and there's no call-outs. There's nobody to tell you, hey, you need to move forward a little bit. Oh, you're right on target. And they only tell you when you're on target. And not like, oh, you're on target, but you're on the far left edge of it because it's like a small 4-foot circle just underneath you. Yeah, let's come over here and bust in airspace. But they can't know we're coming. And so we stay low so they don't hear me moan when I do. Also, I'd really like to find, so a lot of newer cars have the, I don't want to say ability, but they have the thing that gives you the fake exhaust noises whenever you're accelerating the car, where it pipes it in through the speakers. So the speakers of newer cars actually give you fake car sounds because the mufflers are so quiet, because the engines are so quiet. So what that's telling me is there is something in the computer that has that sound saved, or something to where it can synthesize that sound. Either way, that means it's programmed to something that your key does to where your car makes a sound. So I would love to find a way to upload my own sound into a newer car. And you can do so many things. Like I know a lot of Volkswagens, like once a year, it'll give you like a "have a good day" or something message on your little infotainment system, whatever in there. And different people can put tunes on cars for like a tester. Then after 500 miles, you lose the tune, so you gotta buy it if you actually want it. Blah blah blah, whatever. But I think it'd be extremely funny to make your car moan whenever you turn the key through the speakers. Your car is a little bit of a but it only does it like once a year. And then also it would pick up on a passenger seat weight, because it has all the airbag sensors for passenger seats and stuff now. So it would only moan whenever you're the only person in the car. And then you turn it on, and it only does it once a year. I think that'd be hilarious. It'd be a great prank. If anybody can figure that out, I will pay you a significant amount of money. Not that, like $50, you know. But I think that's a very sellable prank if anybody wants to work on coming up with that sort of thing. Let's see, river flying's cool. Let's hurry up and get over here to the port venting, and I'm pretty sure we're on the port now. Let's treetop this a little bit. Come sit down. We had like 8 or 9 people in here for a while. That was nice. It's good to have some people riding along. That way I'm just not talking to myself too often. But for those of y'all who are here, my name is Matt. I have multi-shops. Aspiring helicopter pilot can download the flight sim just to learn how to hover. Now that I have hovering figured out, I still hover for learning, but I also fly against the rules that are prescribed by the Federal Aviation Administration because it's fun. And downloaded 2024, and I enjoy it, but it sucks because cloud-based gaming is a ripoff. Okay, they know we're here now. There's no hiding us now. Actually, no. Do they have a full runway? Yeah, it looks like there's a full runway. Let's see the tower. Look at this little city light right here. Down. Pull it up. Let's go here. Make this car shoot themselves. Honestly, don't think normal airliners are supposed to be out here, but that's just something that the game auto-generating whatever ground traffic is supposed to be here. Now, we've returned you home. Somebody bought you a surplus auction. You belong in the military, baby. Let's put you back together. If you're not a 212, you're a human. Don't forget it. Also, I will say that military bases always seem to have a lot more pavement than standard airports, which is cool. As a person who likes those hover practice, a whole bunch of crazy taxi lines, it's always nice coming into the bases. They have all the different turn-offs for all the different fighter jets or whatever. Parallel spot that they made for us. It's like a Huey-sized parallel parking spot. there, nobody else here, so we can just put it straight in. This is ice skip mile, so I'll almost start pitching down there. It's a little crooked. Perfect. I love it. Okay, let's any suggestions, places to fly? You got a few seconds before I give y'all something you don't want to see. Also, the oil rigs, I will say the oil rigs are neat in 2024. It does a lot of things right, you know, the ground looks good, you know, all the stuff looks good. I'll show you one thing that bothers me, okay? Here's a helicopters guy's take on 2024. Tokyo Heliport, okay? So if you hop on 2024, there are 1,000 helipads on all the buildings in Tokyo. The actual heliport does not exist in 2024. Of course, it's rendered in to where there are places, you know. Let's grab something else. Let's do the fly inside one. This fly inside one's an ass to start, but it's got good sounds, and it's a very different flying model than the other stuff. Yeah, there's no heliport in 2024 when there's literally a Tokyo heliport with 34 landing pads, or 34 parking pads and like one approach pad. Absolutely wild to me that they put in all the different rooftop places that, guess what, probably never used for anything. No, I don't want you running. I don't want you running. Rotor overspeed seat. No, 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 no. No, I don't want you running. I want to... That is... I think helipads start different. We'll start at an airport in a parking spot. I think helipads, they consider that to be like a runway. So we'll start over here in the mediums. It says departure, and I want light. I don't want live weather. I want good clear skies, baby. Sure. Tour of 3 Mile Island. We're in Japan. How close is Fukushima? It's like the Japanese version of 3 Mile Island. We did it, and they're like, oh, we could do it better. And then, how far is Fukushima from Tokyo? Let's check the phone. I think we're way too far south. Fukushima. It's not terribly far. But I want to see if I can start this thing real quick, see if I can remember what to do. It's not a super hard thing to do, it's just particular with its order. Because the throttle is very important. I think this is a B3, so it actually starts slightly different than the L's. Let's see, and I think one of these things starts out, so yeah, that's. Okay, cool. Leave that there. We can shut you up. Okay, and I think that's that. I pressed that one, so I should have fuel quantity showing there. PSI, there we go. So I have fuel pressure showing. I believe I have my starter mapped to my controls here. And I gotta wait for the ticker there to get to like 15-ish. And I gotta make sure that doesn't get too hot Because if I wait too long or do it too early, it doesn't work. Once that hits up to like 58% or so within one, I believe, I click on the generator.
Tokyo Ground November 240 Sierra Hotel. Request taxi for departing straight out with Mike.
November 240 Sierra Hotel taxi to and hold short of runway 34 left via taxiway Foxtrot 7 Foxtrot 9er Tango cross runway 34 left.
Yeah, we'll fly this a little bit and we'll go
Runway 22
some
Alpha Whiskey Whiskey 5
Alpha.
Alpha Alpha 1. Contact tower on 118
This is just a much different helicopter than
Taxi, hold short runway tree
most of the
4
other.
left.
We'll go
using
check out the
taxiway.
Tokyo
Foxtrot
heliport. It's only
7
6 miles
Foxtrot
away.
9er Tango cross runway tree 4 left. Uniform Tango 8 cross runway 22 Alpha Whiskey Whiskey 5
Yeah, I am
Alpha
not
Alpha
following
10
this taxi
Sierra
instructions.
Hotel.
I'm gonna take those and you can shove them up in your airplane. It feels like such a different helicopter than the other ones. Like I said, I believe Fly Inside here, I believe they did their own flight model for this. I don't think they piggybacked off the Bell or the G2. But I don't mind different flight models. I may have mentioned it earlier, but I did like a 70-30 split of time with flying the R-22 and flying other ones because I didn't want to get specifically used to just flying one particular airframe. Because of that airframe, I assume none of these here fly like the real things. I bet they're pretty close because people will complain about that. But I know none of them are actually like the real thing. But if I keep doing one, then I'll get used to that one that's wrong on aspect A. Well, another helicopter may be correct on aspect A, but aspect E of it may be wrong. But aspect E is right on the other one, so I figure I fly everything. I get a pretty good, well-rounded sampling of what it's supposed to be. The Tokyo Gate Bridge, look, another thing they copied from us. We have the Golden Gate Bridge, which is sick. Good job, America. That's what we're supposed to do. We are supposed to do large public works projects that kill massive amounts of the workers because it's so dangerous and so unsupervised and goes egregiously over budget. That's what we do as Americans. 3 Mile Island, that's what we're supposed to do. It's just like medical malpractice on a different scale. Super quality. When Japan comes up with their little Tokyo Gate Bridge, and they come up with their little Fukushima, try to copy our 3 Mile Island. Sorry, I'm not falling for it. You make some cool cars, good job. Toyota actually has their own city, very sick. But as far as everything else, suck it. You know, you're not fooling me. I'm not going to fall for it. Which I'm sure some of y'all can tell, but this helicopter is very, I don't want to say swingy or swimmy, but I also know it's the type of helicopter with this type of rotor system, it will feel different. But it seems very woo compared to the other 206 model that I have. I've heard this one's a more accurate model as far as flight characteristics. I also know this one will 100% get retreating edge blade stall, which unrecoverable as far as this model is concerned. Dead, absolutely dead. And that's when you're going fast enough forward that when your rotor is, you can imagine when your rotor is spinning. Turn this one here. Nope, I'm not going to do that. Too dangerous. But let's say your rotor's spinning counterclockwise or whatever. When you get going a certain speed, when the rotor's coming into the wind, it's always going to be making its lift or whatever. But when the rotor's going backwards, under a certain speed, it's still going backwards. When you get to a certain speed, though, it ends up going forward through the air and creating a negative lift on that particular section of the main rotor. And it's no bueno. You start to get the shakes, and then your helicopter does a nice little topsy-turvy, and then your SOL. See you under the Tokyo Gate Bridge. So yeah, here's the Tokyo heliport. It has a nice little approach helipad right here. Runway 01 and 19. There's actually a viewing spot to the right where you can just come and watch helicopters if you happen to be that sort of autist. So I would love to go to Tokyo and watch helicopters from that viewing spot right there. Like I said, this thing handles completely differently than every other helicopter model in the game that I've downloaded. It doesn't matter if it's the Robinson, it doesn't matter if it's the MD500. The H130 seems a bit weird, honestly. I don't know why. It just does. I don't know if there's something wrong with it, but it just always seemed off to me. But it's not that bad. We'll come over here and park on the gate. It's technically pad 31. And it's my number. Okay, Gwen, you still in here? Where's 3 Mile Island? What's the closest airport to it? Isn't it like New York? I feel like, or New England. I feel like it's somewhere up there. What direction are we going to face? I'm going to face 69. Stop swimming, you fucking helicopter. Jeez. I said, I hate flying this because it feels so different to everything else, but also I know it's something that I need to learn to figure out. And honestly, once I start flying this one around a whole bunch, it does seem more normal. So it's probably just me getting used to one thing or the other. I was saying in here earlier, it's all little movements. Really, if you think about the direction you want to go with a helicopter, that's the direction that it's going to go. You almost don't need to put in any sort of input. We'll just call 60 here. Just kidding, I'm going to turn to the right. 69. Close enough. Okay, Airbus fan, adios. Appreciate you stopping by. Even though I honestly didn't fly an Airbus while you were in here, I'm sorry about that. I do have a couple of those models, so next time you come back, let me know, and we'll either fly an Airbus in 2024 or we'll fly one of these here. Or actually, I did fly an Airbus. I flight the 145 earlier. Okay, let's see. 3 Mile Island. I want to say it's New England. Let's see. Let's tweak our time. Let's see. 3 Mile Island. Let's see if I can figure out what airports are close to it. Pennsylvania. Ew. Actually, Pennsylvania is a nice looking area. I like flying there. Flight conditions, clear skies. Okay, cool. Let's do maps and see if we can figure out airport situation. Oh, Middletown Airport's right there. Harrisburg International. Let's see. Harrisburg International. That looks like it. Is 3 Mile Island marked? Nope. I believe that's it right there. Let's do a... Let's do the nuclear executive right there. Why do you keep changing times on me? Yeah, we want retractable gear for 3 Mile Island. And 2 engines. Did I select a runway or did I select a parking pad? Okay, we're running. Okay. I'll say we're going to do a cool startup sequence on this because I know this one. Let's see, let's get my seating position figured out because I'm not that short. Taller than my co-pilot, always. Get my headset figured out. Get my window open so we can breathe in all that good air. And is my parking brake on or off? Let's see. Okay, parking brake's off. And I should be able to roll forward. Hell yeah, guys. This is what luxury looks like. We are rolling in a helicopter. Hell yeah, Flying Penguin, I've actually seen him before in different areas. Sometimes you see the same names, which I don't know, that's like a server thing. Wind coming from the left, okay. So let's see, let's get going. We're gonna head out here to the river. Oh man, it already looks like shit from here. Now here's the cool thing, guys. Gear up. That's right, we have landing gear up. Positive rate, or whatever the fixed wing people say. Okay, here we go. Cool thing about this helicopter, it's fast as shit. So let's get into it. Watch that airspeed, boys and girls. Let's hit that 140 mark. What do y'all say? For a retractable gear helicopter with 2 engines, that in 2024 they actually have like cooling stacks and stuff. Look at that. OBS connection's back. OBS said it disconnected. Did y'all disconnect? Okay, let's actually do something. I have never attempted to auto-rotate this particular aircraft. I think I've done single engine flying on it before, but I don't think I've ever attempted to auto-rotate it. So what would be my... I want like full emergency auto-rotation. I want 0 chance of recovery auto-rotation. Let's fly back around America's greatest accomplishment real quick here at 3 Mile. We'll blast down through these cooling towers. We'll let the Ghost of Christmas Past know what's going on. Honestly, it seems like it's a little bit smaller than 3 miles. Posh Cheetah. There was a guy in here earlier whose name was like... Shit, what was it? Something Beepus. Like Diet Dr. Beepus or something like that. It was so fucking funny to me. There you go, Gwen. Also, man, our shadow looks cool without the landing gear. I will say that gearless helicopters do look better. Okay, let's see if we can find a fuel shutoff or something. Let's see, there's battery, hydraulic system, fuel valves, there we go. On both of these, open. Fuel valve, fuel valve. Okay, let's get our landing gear down while we can. Where are we heading? Or is my rotor speed doing the thing? Cool, it is rotating. That's cool. Gear down, 3 in the green. The rotor speed's not exactly rotor speeding, but we're going to give the college try. These rotors have a lot of mass in them. Whoop! There goes the landing gear, but we made it. I had never tried it in this platform before, so yeah. It can auto-rotate, although it does come down. The rotor speed here was not getting up to where I would assume it would, but a lot of times these very high inertia systems don't exactly build up the momentum you want them to. 10 people in here. Sad to say, but I think that's a record. Thank you everybody for being here. If you have a suggestion on where to fly anywhere in the world, we'll go there. I've got more or less any helicopter. Okay, China. Did we get rid of you already? Nope, there you are. I've got more or less all the helicopters downloaded here for 2020. So, let me know. I'll probably go hop somewhere right now to go fly there, which I actually have not seen. Cape Town, which I'd like to see that. How are we with light? Okay, they're in sunrise, so it should look pretty good. I don't want to park at a gate. I want to go to just normal parking or something. We're going to go to an A-star. Flight conditions. Let's do real time. Live weather. So yeah, if you have a request for a location, if you have a request for airframe of helicopter to fly, and if it's in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, because 2024 has currently shit the bed for me, we'll do it. We got places to go and things to see, and even if the graphics aren't quite as good for us low-level flyers here in 2020, at least we can fly. And I wanted to start cold and dark. But I think we have a good flight on our hands here, so I'm not going to complain too much. Let me adjust my seating position because I have to be taller than my co-pilot. That's a requirement here. So let's get our horn on so we can get rid of that stupid light. Horn there. Map. I forget the name of those mountains. I used to watch Casey Neistat back in the day, and his wife was from here. Was she from Cape Town? Joanna? Yeah, she was Cape Town, I believe. Let's see. And, actually, are y'all getting sound? This is super quiet to me. Oh yeah, it's there. It's just a quiet helicopter. Okay. Let's go. We got our collective here on the left. We got flight power. Cyclic seems to be working. And pedals are down there at our feet. Up we go. A little bit of right pedal, fighting a little bit of wind from the left. I'm not following y'all's direction. We're going to go this way. Our little lights on there. And honestly, I can turn off taxi light. Don't need that. Grab this. Turn that down. turn that down. And that way we're as night vision friendly as we can be for a nice sunrise flight. I think what we're going to do is head for these hills and see if we can catch the sunrise as we crest the mountains. That seems like the right thing to do in my book down here in Cape Town, the land of the great white shark. I don't know that for sure, but it also seems like everything I've ever watched about the great white sharks was happening off of Cape Town, South Africa. Yeah, Casey's wife was from here, but definitely wasn't Johannesburg. It was because I think it's like the 12 Peaks or something like that. I forget what it's called. If somebody in the chat wants to look that up, they can. But I appreciate having the viewers. Also, y'all see me looking off over here for absolutely no reason. That's where my phone is, which is how I'm monitoring the stream. I don't want to download any add-ons that make 2024 any worse than it is already for monitoring chat as we sit here and fly in 2020. Let's see, what's the GTN options here?
Helicopter 0 Sierra Hotel, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Cape Town Tower Helicopter November 240 Sierra Hotel frequency change.
Ah,
Cape Town Approach Helicopter November 240 Sierra Hotel is type helicopter H125 5 miles east of Cape Town 1,500
yeah,
feet.
I like synthetic vision.
Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Helicopter November 240 Sierra Hotel, Cape Town
I
approach.
think we're going to follow
Squawk
these
0515.
peaks up in front of us. It's kind of in between those two lollipops.
Squawk 05.
That's what I call them. I don't care what you call them. It's your fault for saying it the wrong way.
Helicopter 0 Sierra Hotel radar contact 6 miles east of Cape Town, 1,500 feet.
And I will say 2024 does look massively better at night than this one does.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace helicopter 0 Sierra Hotel.
They have a lot more colors, a lot more detail in the groundwork stuff. I wonder if I can get... Let's see if I can find keyboard. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna look for a way to turn off these things up there, which I have it set to a key binding on 2024. Yeah. Good stars. Also, I did notice I went to I was driving home the other night in the real world, and I had noticed a handful of stars in a particular place on my drive. Then that night, there was a medical flight that I actually recreated a couple of streams ago that landed near my house. So I got on the same helicopter, same livery, same tail number, and did their flight from their base to the patient pickup point and then to Grady Hospital at Atlanta. And I noticed as I was flying, which happened to be the same direction I was driving the night before, the stars were in the same place. So that's something Microsoft does. They keep track of stars. Let's see, is KTNT available? Dade Collier Training and Translation Airport. I'm sure it is. Let's crest this ridge up here. It's another few miles. We'll get our cool sunset thing, then we'll head over there. And if anything, I might try to start up 2024 in the background and see if we can actually get a A little bit of 2024 flying for some direct comparison. But yeah, like one thing for helicopter flying, like I was saying earlier, like I've got no real interest in fixed wing because it's a lot of autopilot. You get to altitude and then you yap with your co-pilot for a little bit, which, if you can't tell, yapping is a hobby of mine. But I want the more involvement that comes with a rotorcraft. Actually, we got a lot of airspeed. Let's see how high we can go. We'll make this a chase of altitude here. I think the max I got was 19,000 feet, but I was also riding ground effect up around Everest. But honestly, I was expecting a slightly bit more sunrise. Let's see if we can pop it off live. Oh, freezing. Don't lose it. Oh, we lost it, guys. So we'll take this as an opportunity to see if we can hop into 2024 since we lost this. Let me pop over to this screen for you guys. Yep. Trying to open the weather killed 2020 for us. Gotta get my back on because that's where the mic is for you losers. I took it off because we were stuck in the land of 2020. Let's see. Okay, so you should be hearing 2020, should be hearing me. Mics are at the right thing. We can mute that there. Desktop muted, mic's good, that's good, that's good. Cool. Let's open this back up. KT&T, let's see. KT&T Airport. Oh, that's Kent State. KT&T. Okeechobee, Florida. Is that how you say that? Okeechobee? O-C-A. I swear that's Okeechobee. And you turn yourself around. That's what's on. So that's the one that's deep in the Everglades there. It's got to be in there. There's no way it's not. Is that a 747 parked on Google Maps there? There's cargo on the side. Big Cypress Wildlife Management. I don't want to say I've seen it on here, but I feel like I've seen a marker for that airport. Looks like 2024 is loading slightly faster than it usually is. So let's see. This might work for us. 87% world data. I love cloud-based gaming. You're gonna hear me say this. Here we go. Start. Let's go. Y'all should only be seeing the left side of the screen. Let me put it in my vision so I can finally fix my... thing. I quit that app. Let's see, is VR not working for me? Did it reset my buttons again? Let's see. Controls, Apache. General. Okay, cool. Are we in the Matrix? Oh, man, that looks bad. Let me look at the stream and see if y'all are going to see that too. That doesn't look too bad for you guys. Okay, cool. Let's do it. We're at Dade Collier Training. Let's see if you can give me a place. We'll stick... I'm actually not going to change anything out of fear that this damn thing will break on me. I do not want to risk it. Because I feel like if I change the livery, if I change the configuration, if I change absolutely anything at all, it's going to end up freezing. And I feel like we're going to have a bad load this first time. Ooh, sketchy. Are you going to work? A little bit of screen tearing for me. Let me look at y'all's view to see if it looks good for you. Which actually, it's in my right eye and y'all are watching my left eye, so I'll just get over it. This is a me problem, not a you problem. We're here for... No, I don't want to get in. I was trying to take off the static port cover. And we're good. Okay, now we get in. Line up. Battery, fuel pump, get the starter burning. Let's go. Turn the gauges on so we can see what's happening. Brightness up. Let's hop outside so you fiends can hear. Let's see, comment down there from Oleg. I'm guessing the VR is weird. What's your setup? Let's see, I am running PC-wise. Oh wait, shh. Cool. PC-wise, I am running... I have no idea what motherboard. I forget. I don't care, honestly. But it's a 4070 Ti Super. I am running a 7800 X3D. And Meta Quest 3 as far as the VR. Yeah, there's been times in the cope. Look at that beard. God, what a beta male. And I need rotor speed. Who's flying over? They're going to my left. It must be up there. Yeah, 4070 Ti Super and then AMD 7800 X3D. Runs decent. It's not the best by any means. Never going to claim for it to be. But it does what I want it to do, which is more or less run the game. You know, that's what I'm here for. I know 2024 has a lot of issues anyways. So let me see if I can just turn this down a slight bit and maybe save myself some headache. Even though you can't see it, this is a me thing. Yeah, leave that all on low. Texture resolution, high. Actually, let's boop, boop. Because I can run better graphics. It's just a matter of, does the game want to agree? Where the hell are you going? Actually, I'm getting a little bit of left eye stuff there now. So I'm going to bump those back down because, again, if you weren't here earlier, I'm doing this for me to get practice doing flying things. Don't care about clouds. And for me to get good practice flying things, I'm more worried about smooth operation and everything working as it should. I'm not necessarily concerned with how... Man, this is bad. It's honestly the worst that it's been. I don't know if it's just because I'm flying in somewhere that I have never flown before and I don't have anything cached. But yeah, it's rough. And actually what I want to do, I want to head to... Actually, I did Miami the other night. We're going to head to this ranger station over here. Give ourselves a big old Fred North style turn. Come down in here, pour on the collective a little bit to help even us up. Man, that's bad. It is usually not this bad. That is horrible. Like almost embarrassingly bad. I was like, I swear it's not my setup. I've been running 2024 pretty damn smoothly. It's just this past week or so, ever since the last update, it's kind of sucked. For lack of a better term, it's been horrible. Crashing and loading different stuff. I mean, it's just... It's not what you pay $200 for. That's why we were flying 2020 earlier, because it crashed on me 4 or 5 times when I was just trying to get it running. And, yeah, no bueno. Get back down to normal speed. Oasis Ranger Station, U.S. Government. Okay, you can... I'm a taxpayer. I'm allowed. Yeah, so this is the Rescue Hoist version. They've got the new flat panel GoPros mounted to their helmets. And they are the absolute most useless search and rescue. I don't even want to call them assistants. Interns is even too high of a praise. Search and rescue busters. No direction. They don't help you look for anybody. They literally just hang on here. Not good. What we should do, I'll touch down here at the ranger station and we'll see if it, because it's already a pretty long stream, so I think we'll just kind of push 2024 until it crashes me. Whenever it crashes me, we'll call that a day. But I want to go somewhere where 2024 shines, that 2020 doesn't shine. Actually, the fuel station was over here, so we're gonna... Can I come over here and land next to the fuel station? It's wild, because I've got a good PC. The PC will run this. I was running this on, like, high graphics when it first came out. Highs and ultras for most of it. But, for some reason now it's just not... Oh, well, while we're here, let's do this real quick. See if I can find something that's... Actually, this is so buggy, we're gonna piss off out of here. We're gonna see if we can demonstrate the ground effect bug somewhere else. This is so bad. It's so embarrassing that I paid so much money for this damn thing. Actually, I'm going to turn off my headset for a quick second. Oof. Oof. I don't know, guys. This is not tracking well. Y'all are going to lose audio for just a second. I want to pop off the VR, turn it off, reset it. Okay, let's see. Got a comet down here. Okay, let's see. You should be able to hear me now. I'll wait for my stream to confirm that. God, it still looks like crap. We might be cooked. I might be calling this the end. Okay, yeah, but yeah, I've got MetaQuest 3. I got this like 2 weeks before they announced the 3S. For what I'm doing, it's fine. It's been working great for 2024 for me. It's It was a bit of a pain in the ass to set up on 2020 to get it to be recognized as VR, but blah, 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 whatever. You know, at first I was trying to run it through the, like the VR suite thing, whatever, where like you spawn into like a little house and you can click on the different games on the wall and play that or whatever. And like, that's how it was at first. But once I got it working, it was, I hop in, I click my VR button, and it's good to go. And it's been doing good for me here. But I don't know if it's just the whole bunch of people are getting on to play for the first time thing today. The Christmas crowd, if you want to call it that. This is bad. This is real bad. God, that's horrible. What is... I'm not even clicking go anymore. Stop walking. What the hell? Dudes, we are cooked. And I'm running the lowest settings I've ever ran on here. Anyway, I was going to show you all the Grand Canyon, but I'm honestly going to turn the VR off. It's still set through here, so I'll wear it on my head. Let's see. Oh, yeah. It's, we're cooked. We are running at quarter frames here, if anything like that. So, I guess what that means is we're going to call this stream a night. It's been a good 3 hours. Dude, I'm way above minimum specs here. I've been playing on high for like the past however long 2024 has been out. But for the past week, it's just been absolute garbage. I don't know what it is. A 4070 Ti Super, like 3 times more RAM than they say was necessary. Like, sure, yeah, I could be a 49, but I didn't see the benefit of buying a $2,000 graphics card. When this particular one scores about the same as like a 3090 on everything. 7800 X3D. Plenty of power, plenty of everything. It's more than enough, and it's been more than enough. It's been running good the past entire time. Never had a problem with it, but this past week it's just been garbage. Absolute garbage. But I'm going to give them a benefit of the doubt and say it's the Christmas crowd. It's the 7 more people that bought this and got it for Christmas. I'm going to say it's them. I'm going to blame it on them. I'm going to give them that little benefit of the doubt, but this is just downside of cloud-based gaming. Yeah, and the game's great. You know, I've enjoyed playing it. Let me see if I can open up career mode here. Just let me put it back in. Probably not. No, I think we're crashing out completely. Yeah, we're in the frozen screen. Oh, headquarters? Maybe? Yeah, I've been playing good, doing good. I'm like level 170 or something like that. You know, got like 5 or 6 minutes. But, yeah, it's just been no bueno here. So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna call this a night. because I don't know if it's just a bit of my Starlink or something else that's not playing along well. But whatever it is, it's just not doing what it should be doing. So yeah, been a good night. A lot of people in here, a lot of people moving through. And I appreciate all of you for coming in and yapping and talking and whatever else, you know. Been a good night. Good 3-hour stream. Feel free to subscribe, like, all that stuff. I'm going to try to do this more and more often now because we're getting to it now. So yeah, adios guys.